Hi, it's William. Welcome to FlySpoke. And today I'm going to do a pretty basic steelhead swinging fly. And I'm building it on a tube, and I'm going to show you a way that I build the tubes for this so I can use these lighter wire hooks. You don't get too bad of a bending down where the hook and the body will fall away from the wing itself in slightly slower water. And I'm going to show you how to make the tube and tie on the same tube and create an inner tube that puts the stop in for your hook placement. So I call this one here blue on steel, and basically the steel being the nickel color hook, and whatever the main color is of the fly, I'm just calling it blue. It could be red on steel or orange on steel or whatever you want to call it. But the basis for the fly is the same, just the colors of the materials and changes of that nature. So for the tube, I basically going to use two humor products. I'm going to use a blue tube. This is what they call their large size. And then I'm going to use a chartreuse tube, what they call their small size. And basically, we're going to tie on the large size. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a tube of an appropriate length for the fly. So basically, I've just cut off a tube that big. I'm going to finish off the ends of that tube. So one end is going to be the back of the fly, and the other end is going to be the front of the fly. So I hold it straight up in the air with a flame. I don't want to hit it too hard. I really want to watch as it starts to bend down. I want to get a real nice even bend to it if I possibly can. It's a little difficult with these larger tubes to do. And when I get a nice bend and I think it looks okay, just stop. Doesn't have to be perfect. Then on the other side, which this is going to hold my hook, I just want to touch it. I don't have to do more than that. Okay, so now let's prep the second piece, which is the small one. Now we're going to be putting the small one inside the large tube, and it's going to be used, and I think you can see through the blue tube, it's going to be used as the stop for where the hook is going to be held. So basically, just take it, slide it into where you want it to be, and then I'm going to trim off the front of that, try to make it as right angle as you possibly can. Use a razor knife if you have to. And then I'm going to take this one, and I'm just going to roll that one over and make the diameter slightly larger. Okay, and again, in the back, just going to touch it, and that's it. So I'll bring the vise back in and remove this fly. So what I'm going to do is I have just a real simple, I think this one's an HMH, and it's holding a tapered mandrel. Put that in the vise nice and tight. And then if I take the blue tube, lay it over, it's going to slide on. Then I'll take the inner tube, slide that till it's tight. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up with what I'm going to tie on. So we're going to take some Loctite 414. If you don't have Loctite 414, you'll want to get some. Loctite 414 is a special formula that works for different vinyls like this, and works great for using on fly lines and things of that nature for creating heads, loops, creating your own loops. And I'll just do that and remove a little. And then I'm just going to slide this up and over like that, and we have to let that dry. Okay, so the Loctite is dry, and basically we have a tube in a tube, and we're going to use the outer tube as the junction tube. So there'll be no added junction tube required for this style. And that means that we can tie this fly, and I'm going to start right up at the front here, and we can tie this fly all the way back to the back of the fly, and so long as we secure whatever the last material is at the back of the fly well, there's no worry about the fly coming apart or falling off the back. So basically, I'm going to leave a little bit. It's okay. We have that nice blue tag out the back. And the first thing is I'm going to take some bright chartreuse Ez-Taz. And the reason I'm going to use Ez-Taz for a bud on the fly is because I want to have some volume in the back so that when the wing and the hackles have movement, they stay away from the fly. And this gives you just a little bit of push up and away for those materials to flow. And we're just going to put that on like that to there. And this is the thing that the fish is really going to see in the back of the fly when they look up at the fly. Alright. So we got that. Brush it back. And then the next thing, I'll take a little, this really bright blue Arctic fox. And this here, I'm just going to take some small clumps of it. And I'm going to lay this up and over the Ez-Taz. And I'm going to work it around the tube. And take a little bit more and a little bit more and just keep working it around the tube. This is the very short variety of Arctic fox. And I'll do that again right here. And then work it around the tube this way. And it's not going to be perfectly even, but you just try to work it on. Spin it. And I'll put another little clump. Sometimes you could put a little larger clump and then it'll spin right around for you. And that works really, really well, except when you have things like Ez-Taz, they tend to catch and don't allow you to do that operation perfectly, so it's no big deal to be putting it on. And I'm going to put one more little bit there. And we'll just fill it in right there. Now I'll get this all out of my way. And what that's going to do is that's going to give us some really nice lift so that when the materials are flowing over, they'll stay up a little bit away from the tail and keep some width to the materials as they're flowing. And we just come up close to the front. Oh, and now I'm going to put in the body material. This is a really nice product. Very nice braided material, and it comes from Bill's Body Braid, and these people are in Cumberland, Rhode Island, and really nice material, soft material, nice glisten to it. And this one happens to be in what they call pearly blue, very iridescent-y look to it. I think it would be really nice for saltwater fly application as well. And I'm just going to put that right to where the Arctic fox is tied in. And then just come right back to the front. Alright. Okay, now I have a blue-eared pheasant that I have trimmed the feather out, taken all the fuzz off of, and I'm going to put this in as a collar. And basically, what I have to do, I have to leave a little bit of the stem showing before the wind. I'll trim, and I'll find the tip. So I have the tip to hold on to. And I'm going to bend over, bend the feather half to wind it on. And what you're doing is you're just trying to have that tip so that the rest of it will bend. Holding the tip and letting the rest go. Okay, now take the whole thing, sweep it back, and we'll cover over. Okay, we'll have our blue-eared pheasant. I'm just going back and covering slightly over them to give them a bend back. Okay, now what you can do with this is you take the feather and you actually push down, push forward. See how that just bent down right there? Spin, push down, push forward. And I'm talking ever so slightly down, forward. And that puts a little bend in it for it to just lay down nicely. Now, that's used as a spayfly hackle quite a bit, blue-eared pheasant. And you can palmer them if you've got real long ones. Palmer them up the body of a spayfly, and they're pretty cool. Okay? Alright. So, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be putting in a wing. Now, I use this long Arctic fox for the wing. And I clip out a piece of that. Then I take a smaller piece of the blue, clip that out. And what I do, by taking this in my fingers and pushing the top and pulling the bottom, I don't know if you can see how to do that. The bottom gets a little shorter and creates a lift for the wing so that I get this bulbous kind of look to it. So now I hold it where it's complete, give it a nice trim, and when I put this on, I'm going to put it on flat right to the top, and then we're going to work to spreading it out after it's on. So I got the blue facing down, the black, okay. A little loose at first, and then you can pull tight. Alright, so I got a little bit of blue underneath, you can see the line, right, and the black. Now I take my thumb and I'm pushing side to side and down so that the top, when I look at it from the top, it starts to get wider, a much wider profile when looking from the top. And that creates the shape that's going to be seen from the back and bottom. At the same time now I'm going to go up to the very front and I'm going to put some material, some thread rather, securing this all down so it doesn't slip out. And I'm winding towards the back, grabbing more of it. I've pushed it to make it a little fatter. I've got my blue underneath. Okay. Alright, so now I'm going to take the flash material. This is blue mirror crinkle flash. And I'm going to take just one strand. You don't want a lot of this. Too much of this stuff and it really doesn't do the product justice. I'm going to put one strand over on this side, come over it, bend it back, secure it down. And I'll just come to the back and I'll trim it at the very back of these hairs. And then I'll do the same thing on this side. Lay it in. Put one over. Bend it back. And then tie it down. And again, trim it at the back of the hairs. No perfectly even trims, just and you notice I put that in so that there's no tips tied in. You never want to tie tips of synthetic material. Alright. So the flash is in. Now I'm going to go back to the Arctic Fox again. And I'm going to find a pretty long section that includes some nice guard hairs. I'm not talking about a lot here. I need it to be long. It's got to be a long section. There we go. Some decent guard hairs in it. Okay, I'll twist, curly cue it, twist it. I'll trim down in as far as I possibly can. Alright, now I want to look at this really well. Take my brush, and I'm going to brush this top section out. Always helps to brush these wings. And this wing I'm going to put over the top is going to be the longest section. So I want it to be as long as it can possibly be. Slightly longer now than the wing, the original wing that's on there. I'm putting this right on the top. And that's going to give me even a little more bulbous look above the flash that we put in. Alright, and I evened out the head at the same time. So we have to have a nice platform for this collar we're going to put on now. Nice shape, little flash down, nice shape to the top. Alright, the next item, I'm going to take some Kingfisher Blue Spay Plumes. This is made by Hairline Dubbin. You got to be careful with these. Some of them are extremely poor quality, and you must look at the lengths and the tips. Like I say, some of them are just so bad they can't be used. So if you order this online, you have to tell them you expect the quality to be really good. And even from color to color, they vary tremendously. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I am going to take off one side. Now, some people even use this, they'll make dubbing loops with this material. And put them in using a dubbing loop. I don't, for this particular application, I'm happy with just spinning it on as a collar. But on intruder flies and things like that, if you were to use this in the tail section, you would put it on with a dubbing loop. Alright. Alright. Alright, so now I just want to take this, hold it back, and I'm going to go right around as a collar, and then right in front of the first wrap. And that's all you're going to use. You don't want this to have so much material. Doesn't need it. Overdressing these flies is really easy to do, so that's what you have to be careful of. Alright. Again, you can just push down and forward. Now, these have a tendency to be really out there, and it's a good thing, because when that's in the water and swimming, that spay hackle jumping around is really, really an asset. And then I'm just going to grab a couple of larger size jungle cock nails. This is a good application for the larger nails that you're left over with from a lot smaller flies. Trim them together. Take the two nails and put one on top of the other, and then trim them exactly to the same spot. And that way when you put them on, you just put the edge of where the trim out is right to the edge of the head, the thread of your head, and both sides are going to wind up being uniform then. Sometimes they want to spin on you. So the whole thing here with these flies is you don't want them to be tight and flat. You want them to have width. So you're really trying to have things be fat when you looked at it from the top. So when we look at this fly from the top, what we see is width. We see a full, I mean, if you look at it, put my finger, it's very wide. And that's a good thing. And even in the water, when it's going to puff up. Tremendous action with the tail. I'm just covering up now. Couple of whip finishes. And on this fly now I would put 4 coats. We'll put 1 right now, just for now. There's 1 coat. So really a pretty standard concept for steelhead tube fly swinging. Rearrange your colors and understand that each segment had some purpose, and give it a try. Blue on steel, there it is.